All right, well, good evening, everybody. And I just want to share this devotion on Resurrection Sunday evening. And it's from Mark 16. And we read the following, starting at verse 1. Now, when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Salome, brought spices that they might come and anoint him, that's the body of Jesus. Very early in the morning, on the first day of the week, they came to the tomb where the sun had risen, when the sun had risen. And they said among themselves, "Who will roll away the stone from the door of the tomb for us?" But when they looked up, they saw the stone had been rolled away, for it was very large. And entering the tomb, they saw a young man clothed in a long white robe, sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. See the place where they have laid him. But go tell his disciples and Peter that he is going before you into Galilee, and there you will see him as he said to you." Now I'm just going to stop there. The point here is that when they got to the tomb, and this is something that we find in all the Gospels, when the women got to the tomb was empty. That says something very important. The resurrection of Jesus was not a mere spiritual resurrection. It wasn't a resurrection of his teachings, per se. It was, in fact, the glorification and resurrection of his body. Jesus was and is bodily raised from the dead and ascended into heaven. Why is that important for us to see? Well, it's important for a number of reasons. For one, the fact that his body is raised from the dead gives no doubt at all that he's alive. Secondly, because he's raised from the dead, he proves to be the Messiah. Because in Isaiah 53, for example, after he's died and buried, we find very quickly in verse 10, 11, and 12 that Jesus, who is dead, is now alive and reigning and ruling. So Jesus must raise from the dead if he is the Messiah. He is the Messiah because he was raised from the dead. And then finally, it's very important that we see that the resurrection of the body of Jesus is essential for our understanding of the end times and our own eternity. Because the fact of the matter is that his resurrection is a sign of our resurrection. There will come a time when we will have the resurrection of the righteous, and then there will be a resurrection of the rest of the dead. The resurrection of the righteous will enter into the new creation and reign with Christ, whereas the resurrection, generally speaking, the general resurrection of the body will bring judgment on those who have not believed. And so the resurrection of the body of Jesus is a reminder that you and I also will at some point be raised from the dead bodily. When we die, our spirits and souls either go to be with the Lord if we're believers, or goes to hell. But then will come the resurrection of the body, where our spirit and soul will be connected with the body, because we are all triune beings, just as God is Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So we are soul, spirit, and body. We will be reestablished in our triune being. And then those who believe in Jesus will have all eternity in the new creation, but those who do not believe will end up in the lake of fire. So understand that the resurrection of Jesus is a reminder to all of us of our resurrection. the resurrection of the body is something that will come for all, some to eternal glory and some to eternal shame. All right. God bless you all, and you have a good evening.